Hello and welcome back to Future Focus. Today we're going to be working on this staggered text animation built using Next.js, Tailwind CSS and Frame of Motion. So let's begin. So first of all, we're just going to install Frame of Motion using npm frame-motion into our terminal. And then to start our project we're just going to create a components folder. And within that we're going to create a file and call that hero.tsx. I'm using TypeScript, obviously you don't have to do that. So first I'm just going to create this component, and I'm going to import motion from Frame of Motion. This is what will handle our animations. And I'm going to import another font from Google Fonts called Rallyway, just to make our text look a bit pretty. So to do that, we just literally do next/font/Google. That's how you access Google Fonts within Next.js. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to create this font component. So to do that, we'll just do const the name, and then we'll import the font. Here we just add a subsets feature, which will be Latin, and then we'll do weights, which is just a different font weight, ranging from 1 to 700 depending on the font. Could go up to 900 as well, but like I said, just depending on the font. Okay, now we're going to style our outer container. So to do this using Tailwind, we're going to do curly braces because we need to import the font. So to do that, we'll just open our curly braces, we'll do rallyway.className, and that will just make sure everything within this component is given this custom font. And then we're just going to add some more classes to our container. So just give it the property of flex and give it item center to ensure it's centered on the y-axis. And then we'll do justify start to make sure it starts from the side of the screen, and then we'll just add the gradient for the background. So to do this, we'll just do bg gradient to br, which means the gradient is aimed towards the bottom right. And then we'll just choose the colors from gray 200, and then we'll say via gray 100, and then the ending color will be white. And now we'll just import this hero component into our homepage. So to do that, we'll literally just put it in between these divs and our index.tsx file, and then we'll just import it. Let's actually center our text. So to do that, we'll just change it from justify start to justify center. Yep, perfect. Now we will create our animation. So first we need to get the text, which we'll just put in an array. And obviously because we're animating each different line, we've just made an array of lines, which will map over within our component and display it in p tags, as you can see us doing now. So like I said, we'll just map over the lines array, and then each line will animate over as it is mapped over, basically. So yeah, we'll just put each line in a p tag, and as you can see, it maps over each line in our array. And we'll give it each p tag a key of index. And now we can actually style this text. So we'll give it a size of 2XL, and we'll give it a font of medium. And now we'll style the container tag, and we'll just give it some padding on the y-axis, which adds some space in between each line, sorry. And we'll give it a text left to just make sure the text is always aligned to the left. Make it a bit bigger actually, let's make it 4XL. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually start to animate. So what we'll do now is create our container animation. So we'll just create a variable called const container, and here's what will hold our animation. So what we're going to do first is we'll say hidden. On hidden, we want the opacity to be 0. So basically this is a frame of motion component tag, where you can decide what properties to add when the object is hidden or visible. So when it's hidden, we want the opacity to be 0, and when it's visible, we want the opacity to be 1. And then I'm going to add a transition property, and we'll give it a stagger of staggered children's of 0.7. So that just means there's a 0.7 second stagger between each animation of each child within the container. So obviously in this div, each child is each line that's being mapped over in the lines array. So now we'll just give the container div a motion.div property, and then we'll give it a variant / equals container, and we'll make it initial hidden, and then animate will be visible. So just given the same properties as you can see. Yeah. So after that, we'll actually start to animate the children. So for that, we'll create another variable called const child, and again we'll give it a hidden property, and this one will also say opacity 0. And then we're going to say on the x-axis, initially, when it's hidden, we want it to be -10. And on the y-axis, we want it to be 20. So this is basically another filter. And this is how we add the blur animation effect. So we'll just say blur initially, when it's hidden, will be 20px. And then when it's visible, we want these properties to be happening. So we'll do opacity will go to 1, so it's no longer hidden. And then we'll put the x back to 0 and the y back to 0. You'll see the effects of this as soon enough. And then the filter, we'll put that back to 0 as well. We'll say blur 0px. And then just add a transition property. And here we'll just say the duration. So this is the duration of the animation will be 0.5 seconds. And for an ease, which will make the animation act more smoothly, we'll just add ease out. And there you have it. Oh, so the text hasn't actually become medium, so for that we'll just add 500 to our font weight. As you can see, the text is now more thicker. Refresh. Because we need to make the p tag a motion p tag. So to do that, we'll just simply add motion.p to our paragraph tag. And then we'll just add the variant, which will be child. And that should be it. Give that a refresh. And there you see it. So now what we can do is we can actually just play around with this to just see different animation effects. So as you can see, we can just say make it a bit slower, and make it a bit faster, like I said. You can just stagger duration as well. So you can actually change different properties, actually change the animation. So as you can see, we can change the x-axis to 0, and we'll change the y-axis to 40. So as you can see, it just changes the direction, which I think that looks really good. So -40 will have it coming from the top, as you can see. So you can play around with this in different different animations, different properties. But yeah, it really is that simple.